Are you an inbound marketer looking for the inside scoop on what's next? Are you ready to unlock HubSpot's full potential and yours? If so, you've come to the right place. The Hubcast is your leading resource for user-friendly HubSpot tips, expert insights and strategies, exclusive interviews with inbound's brightest minds, and the latest insider news. And now, here's your host, George B. Thomas.
And what is up, everybody? It's George B. Thomas, and the co-hostess with the mostest, Karina Duffy, is here with me today, and we are so excited to be back. Episode 164, which is amazing. But remember, the Hubcast is brought to you by, this week, our custom HubSpot workshops. Are you looking for a HubSpot CRM, smart marketing, or complete HubSpot and inbound training workshop? Then reach out to us at gthomas@impactbnd.com to see if either of these or any of these are a good fit for your company. Karina, how are you doing this week?
Doing great, man.
You're looking awful blue.
I'm looking blue. I'm in the iconic blue room at the Impact office, back in home base this week, ready to go.
You know, I'm wondering if I should paint the orange blue.
I don't know, man. This works well, though, because we got like the Impact blue, we got the HubSpot orange.
Yeah. I'm pretending that I'm Spider-Man today. I'm just saying. My wife keeps asking me, why are you crawling on the walls? But let's get into this. Karina, what is the HubSpot property of the week?
All right, the HubSpot property of the week this week is HubSpot Owner. So just like it sounds like, the HubSpot Owner property is the owner of a contact. So you can set this, it can be any HubSpot user or Salesforce integration user, which is really nice. It can be set manually in the individual contact itself, but it can also be set via workflows. So you can assign additional users to a contact record by creating a custom HubSpot user field type property. We give this property a rating of Boardwalk. Buy it, take it to the bank. It is the best. There's like so much you can do with this. It is super nice, from lead nurturing to triggering notifications to people on your sales team. It is crazy good.
Yeah, there are a ton of things you can do. As a matter of fact, you might, if you did not watch or listen to episode 162, where we interviewed Angela O'Dowd, she talked about from rep lead nurturing, and that has to go off of this property. So definitely make sure you're using HubSpot Owner. What's amazing to me, Karina, is there are a ton of clients when we get into their portal and we talk about HubSpot Owner, they're like, oh, that's a thing? Ooh. So if you're listening and you're not using HubSpot Owner, make that happen.
Or just go to jail, go directly to jail. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. You got to be using HubSpot Owner.
Yeah. I wish they were using that. You know what else I wish? I wish that we could hit this week's wish list item. And we actually got an email, so I'm just going to read the email for you. And Kendall says, our idea for the Hubcast wish list is to have HubSpot, and now listen to this, or maybe Impact, create pillar page templates so that we could create these as landing pages rather than having to pay our web designer to design these for us. What do you think about pillar page templates that are optimized in some special way for content clusters? Let us know. Karina, what are your thoughts on this? This is a very interesting idea with the surgence of something that we're going to talk about later in this show, and a strategy that is happening in the inbound space, which, by the way, if you listened or didn't listen to or watch episode 163, you should, because we talked to Justin Champion about said pillar content and content clusters.
I mean, I think this is a great idea. In terms of HubSpot wish list, I think that, at this point, having HubSpot developing something like this, not sure that it would be a big priority for them. I think they are they're focusing on pillar content and topic clusters, but in terms of templates and things like that, I do think that the point of, or maybe Impact, or maybe other agencies or people that are putting templates on the marketplace, I do think that that is a really good idea for people to start doing. And a really interesting thing that we may talk about in the next couple Hubcasts that Impact is actually working on some similar things. But I think that HubSpot developing these, probably not, but maybe some people in the marketplace could really take a hint from this, because having something like this as pillar content and topic clusters start to blow up would be super helpful to sort of have some pre-optimized templates that are a little bit more plug and chug and not just, you have to create them custom every single time.
Yeah. Let's stop and have a conversation real quick. By the way, the Hubcast historically has had a ton of agency listeners, and I want to just say something. I don't want you to fear the fact that the Hubcast would change in any way, because now it's Impact versus the sales line. And so if you're listening to this, we are literally telling you as agencies, one of the things that should probably be on your radar is to create pillar content templates so that you could have them for your clients moving forward, because this is not going away. Some of you agency folks have even reached out to me and said, well, the content tool is a nice to have, but we really don't use it a lot. I think that's about to change, just so everybody knows. And so you might want to have these pieces with that. Agency owners, employees, we love you. We're just giving you a heads up. Karina, where else can they get a heads up?
Oh, you can get a heads up. If you haven't heard, we have 2 amazing Facebook groups, Impact Elite and Mastering HubSpot. So if you're looking for a place to take your inbound learning to the next level, make sure, Hubcast listeners, you got to get onto these private Facebook groups. They are hopping. There's always stuff going on in there. Really, really good, interesting questions pop up. We've got polls in there. We've got helpful videos. A lot of stuff going on in there. And it's not just Impact people. It's all kinds of HubSpot users, agency people. It's really good stuff. So make sure that you get on there today. You can find links in the show notes.
Yeah, it amazes me. Like, I sit back and watch these 2 user groups, and it is just a group of like customers and marketers and clients and agencies. Like, it's just a breeding ground for inbound and HubSpot goodness, depending on what you're trying to do. And it just makes me go, And you know what else makes me go, is our section, things that make you go, And you have to stop and think about. And this one, I would actually say, Karina, this week, it might not be things that make you go, but it's this one is really a thing that makes me go, what the? Because holy crap. My goodness. Like, why don't you tell us about what came through the pipeline this week?
This is something that made some people at Impact go, ah! There's this week, a couple of us got emails, actually separate emails from different places, that HubSpot is sunsetting the keywords tool, and they actually just announced it to everybody this week in HubSpot updates. So last week, we found this out. Basically, they're just getting rid of the tool. We haven't gotten a lot of information. What's really cool is that later on this week, we're actually going to be having a meeting with Jeff over at HubSpot. I think it's Jeff Vosell. And he's going to be basically explaining to us kind of what's going on and what the thought process is behind this. So a lot of people use this tool a lot. So definitely a very interesting move. I will say for me personally, I've moved over to tools like SEMrush to do more keyword research and to kind of keep an eye on keywords, because sometimes I'm not sure, where HubSpot is getting its data, or I see some kind of differences. And so I've used SEMrush a lot, but I know there's still a lot of people that rely on the keywords tool, not just rely on it, but have had a lot of success using it. So this is definitely an interesting move. And I'm excited to hear from the HubSpot team directly exactly what they're thinking, and so that we can bring that to you guys and give you a little bit of insider information there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I actually want to read a little piece of this email where it talks about results are powered by machine learning and based on user intent, rendering individual keywords irrelevant. Holy! So first of all, I don't know if I completely believe that, right? Yeah, this is a very risky move, I think, on HubSpot. They're betting all in on this strategy, and they're in this email literally saying, "Oh, that's old." Listen. They Ask You Answer has continued to work over clients over and over and over and over again. So just because the tool is changing, be careful. Just because HubSpot is saying this is the direction they're going, be careful. Anyway, they say that's why we built and launched Content Strategy, a proven approach to content and SEO that focuses on topics and information architecture, not keywords. Now, remember, earlier in this episode, we said you might want to focus on pillar content templates. That's because like they're going all in on this, people. But here's the thing. Using Content Strategy, you can plan, organize, and execute on SEO that matches the way search engines and buyers work today. With this in mind, that's HubSpot, not us, people. Don't shoot the messenger. We will be removing the keywords tool from HubSpot May 31st, 2018. Oh my gosh. This is crazy talk to me. I just don't even know. There's so many things. Here's what I'm going to say. I love the fact that Impact is having a meeting with Jeffrey Vosell. You know what I love more than that is the Hubcast. We have reached out to Jeffrey Vosell, and we're actually going to be interviewing him and Angela next week so that we can bring content to you, because I have a bazillion questions. Like for instance, if you do away with the keywords tool, how can I now use page performance to make sure that the title and the H1 and the meta description have the same keyword that doesn't work anymore in the actual freaking on-page SEO? I'm just saying I better chill out. Karina, do you have any final thoughts on this?
I think they're telling you, George, that they don't think that that's important anymore. I think it's really interesting.
I don't know.
I'll have more thoughts next week once we talk to Jeffrey for sure.
Yeah. Right now I'm in #freakout mode.
Yeah.
Next week it might be better. I'm just letting you know. But you know what makes it better? A nice, soothing, relaxing conversation with the man, the myth, the legend, Luke Summerfield. Let's go ahead and dive into that.
Those who don't know me, my name is Luke Summerfield, and I am a part of the HubSpot crew over here. And what I talk about and what I evangelize is a new way of going about building websites. And we're going to talk a lot about it today, but we call this growth-driven design. And this came from the years that I worked in the agency world. Previous to HubSpot, I worked for one of our HubSpot partners, and primarily doing a lot of web design and realizing a lot of the problems with it.
Yeah. So Luke, let's start really at the beginning. And I know it's funny because in the interview, I'm like the man, the myth, the legend, do who you are, what you do. It's almost like in the inbound space of like introducing Jesus himself and people not knowing who he is. Let's start from the beginning, and let's just, for those people who might not know GDD or growth-driven design, let's answer the question for them. And that is, what is growth-driven design?
So growth-driven design is the new playbook for building and optimizing a peak-performing website. And it does that by building, first, a rock-solid strategy in understanding the world of your audience, the world of your customer, the world of your users, figuring out what makes them tick. And there's a lot of steps that go into that. And then eventually you build what we call a launchpad website. That's a site that looks better and performs better than what you have today, but it's just a starting point, and you launch that quickly. So you can start collecting data, get real people interacting with it, which then allows you to move to the third step, which is the continuous improvement stage. Now you got real people interacting, you got real data to make more informed decisions, and you're able to month over month improve the performance of the website.
Now, Luke, I want to go into the section where you may give 2, 3, knowing you, maybe even 4 things that people should be doing when it comes to their website, and kind of taking it from this place that it isn't working to that it could be working much, much better? Like, give us number 1 is, number 2 is, number 3 is.
Number 1 thing that I would recommend, and it sounds so simple, but you would be surprised, myself included, previous to kind of putting all this together, is spending the time with your audience to gain a really deep understanding of what's going on with them. I think in some ways a lot of us are very analytical, we're very technical, we're very thinking about how do we dig data and mine data. And honestly, when you're first starting out and you're really trying to figure out what are the big innovations we can do, the best thing you can do is get on a phone call, get on a Zoom, and just have a conversation with a customer. We sometimes like to overcomplicate things. And what I would say is, if I was looking for the best insight, the best nuggets, I would find 10 folks who recently switched to your product or service, and then find 10 folks who recently switched away. So they left to a competitor, and have interviews with both those folks. We give some templates in the certification that you can use in terms of running those interviews. There's also a really good book called The Mom Test. And the mom test is basically like, how do you ask questions to get the right answers versus your mom who's going to sugarcoat it. That's a great book. But talk to those folks to really understand, why did they switch? What were their expectations? Are you delivering on those expectations? And what progress they're trying to make? What are they using? What are they not using in your product? And if you can go one step further, I would even interview folks that have recently switched. You want to interview folks that recently switched in the last 30 days. I should say that. So find people that recently switched in the last 30 days, people who left in the last 30 days. Then look for patterns. Once you've interviewed those 10 people, you're going to start to hear patterns across those interviews. And those patterns you can group. And when you group them, those patterns are going to give you the real big nuggets on some of the changes that you need to make to draw more of the people in that switched, and to keep more of those people from switching away. So that's maybe like nugget number 1. I'll give a couple shorter ones. That was a longer one. Nugget number 2 is I would, for your website, I would look at and do an audit. First, you need to set your goals. I think that's really important. And this is like a mindset shift. For a long time, especially, I should say outside the United States as well, it's even more prevalent, where the website is seen as kind of like a pretty brochure, right? It's something that we need to do. It's got to look better than a competitor. It needs to be beautiful. And yes, that's important. But equally as important is to understand how the website can be leveraged as a tool to help accelerate the growth of the business, right? So we want to look at how do we improve the website in order to accelerate the growth of business. So to do that, you first have to set your business goals. Then you have to say, how can the website influence those business goals? Like, what if a website is a lever to pull? When I pull that lever, what is it going to impact in terms of my business goals? So understanding that. And then the third step is saying, what pages on the website are the highest, medium, and lowest impact pages in terms of hitting and moving that number? Because there's naturally going to be some pages that are really key for driving whatever that number is. And then there's certain pages that are, nice to haves. They're not necessarily critical. Maybe they're like customer support pages. And the reason that is important is it allows you to start thinking about where you spend your time on the website, optimizing and improving, and understand what pages can be done with a certain kind of a lightweight process, and which ones should really be focused on for optimization and really be thinking big, big changes, big picture on some of these other pages. So that would be number 2, is like, think more about your time like an investor, and invest your time wisely by bucketing high, medium, and low impact pages on your site. Number 3, I'll give you a tactical one. The last 2 are more kind of like theory and process. A tactical one is start to look at your site and think about how you can start tailoring the experience people are getting on your site based off of different segmentation, right? So if you have different personas, if you're targeting different areas in the world, if you're trying to tell a different story, think about how you can start tailoring that using, you know, in HubSpot, we have smart content, and smart content is a great tool to be able to start tailoring the calls to actions, the offers, the things that you're doing. And if you're looking for a quick one, a lot of companies, kind of a best practice. I don't like best practices. I'm gonna rant on this for a second, George. I know, I'm sorry. I never know how to shut up, but I'm gonna rant on this for a second. Best practices are great for ideas on what to experiment to see if they work for your audience. But there is no guarantee they will work for your audience, and most likely they won't. There's a lot of them that will work in one industry but not another, or another industry. So best practices are good. Take them with a grain of salt, add them into your ideas list for an experiment, but don't just blindlessly follow best practices, because that's the best road to mediocrity. It's the best road to an average website, and we don't want average, we want peak performing. So but with that being said, an experiment that you can try that we did at HubSpot worked really well, I know a lot of other people find success with it, is in your menu at the very top. You got your menu, that's where a lot of people's attention is. Have a call to action, like have something simple to start a dialogue. And that could be an offer, that could be a chat, like maybe you click on that and the chat comes up. That could be a consultation, a demo, whatever that is. Again, like I talked about, use the personalization and where they are in their journey, where they're coming from, to dictate what to dynamically show in that area. But it's a great prime real estate for the attention and trying to get people to the most relevant content for the stage they're in and the segment you're targeting. So experiment to try there.
So Luke, let's go ahead and do this. Give them where they can get the certification one more time. If they have questions and want to connect with you, where's a good place for that? And just one last piece of parting wisdom that you would say, this is what Luke Summerfield would tell you if he could tell you anything.
Easy for the where to go. It's just growthDrivenDesign.com. If you already have a HubSpot portal, you've already been in there taking certifications, you'll also find it with all the other certifications within the Learning Center. Just click on the little Academy app at the top. Otherwise, growthDrivenDesign.com. If you want to get a hold of me, I'm super open to always chatting with people and helping. You can find me, Luke at HubSpot.com. Pretty easy to find. Also, when you sign up for the certification, we have a Slack community. There's about 2,500 people in the Slack right now, all folks that are doing growth-driven design or in the certification, and I'm in there as well. So you can literally Slack me directly and have a conversation. I can help answer your questions along with any of the other people that are in the group. If you post in the different channels, Luke's words of wisdom, and we hear it a lot. We hear that one of our core principles here on the HubSpot Academy is always be learning. And I know, George, you're always hungry to read books. I see all the posts that you do, and I would encourage folks to take advantage of reading the wisdom that are out there that people spent years of their life, years and years of their life writing down and putting into these wonderful books that are out there that you can consume in under a day, under 2 days maybe, and soak in the wisdom that all these experts all around the world have put in there. It's a wonderful treasure. And obviously in the business context, it helps you with career growth, but there's obviously plenty of books out there on all different topics that can help you grow in other parts of your life. And I hated reading for years, hated it. I got turned on to Audible and absolutely loved Audible. And that then was my gateway drug, I guess, for lack of a better word, into reading in general. And now I'm doing paperback and Kindle and all kinds of stuff and just anything I can get my hands on. So I would encourage everyone to, of course, the certifications and online training and all that is great, but there's a certain level of, even one more level above when people put years of their life and spend the time to actually put it in print versus something that can be thrown into a video.
That was a fun interview. Luke is always a crazy guy. Like, I don't know if you follow him on Facebook, but I love watching. It's either like a dog or a scene or somebody kicking somebody's butt. There's always things going on. Hopefully you're kicking butt with growth-driven design. If you're not kicking butt with GDD or HubSpot in general, one of the things we want to let you know about is our free 15-minute assessments. That's right. Do you want to make sure you're getting 100% out of your HubSpot and inbound efforts? Then schedule your free 15-minute portal assessment with this guy right here, George B. Thomas. Just go to your inbox, type in G Thomas at Impact B&D in the subject line, say free 15-minute assessment. I'm going to send you an email back. You're going to pick a time that works for you, and we're going to make sure you're getting 100% out of your HubSpot portal. You know, another way that you can get 100% out of your portal is by checking out what Karina's going to talk about, and that is this week's HubSpot updates.
So we got a couple of things. We've got some live features, and we got a new HubSpot Connect. So the first one is email threading in the HubSpot CRM. So previously in the CRM, email conversations were pretty clunky. So they pretty much just got all logged into one big chain in the CRM. So it made it pretty impossible to find the exact correspondence you were looking for without just having to do some kind of find on page or something like that. Scrolling through all of these individual emails got to really be a headache. So with the latest update, email conversations are now threaded on the timeline. So that makes it easier for you to find the information you need, reply faster, make every conversation relevant and contextual. I think what's really nice about this is it feels very much like almost like the Gmail message thread. I remember when that came out and everybody was like, thank God, it's here.
Yeah.
So it really is very similar. If you're in the CRM, you can look at an email, and then there's a little button that says view thread, and it pops down and you can see all the messages that are in that thread really clearly, really easily. Super nice.
Yeah, and if you're new to the CRM and you don't know exactly where we're talking about, what you want to do is go to contacts, go to an individual contact, and on the right-hand side, you're going to see the section that we call lead intelligence, and that's where that's going to be collapsed up. I'm going to tell you, you're either going to love it or hate it. You probably hate it because it changed at first, but then once you see what it does, you'll love it anyway. Get over it. What else do we have today, Karina?
So we've got a new HubSpot Connect partner. It is called Ribbon. So Ribbon is a digital gift sending service that enables you to send gifts, donations, and rewards to your customers using personalization tokens in HubSpot email and workflows. So gifts arrive in your customer's inbox from you, not a third party giving you control of the branding and message. You might be thinking, why the heck would I need this? Why would I ever want to send gift cards to my customers or something like that? Well, if you need a survey filled out, you can incentivize users with a gift card, something like that. A lot of times we send out surveys to customers, try to get people to fill them out. Nobody fills them out. Do a simple gift card offer for the first 50 people that fill it out. We know a lot of people that do this already that are offering gift cards, and you have to do really roundabout things to be able to deliver those. So this kind of just brings it all together, makes it really, really easy. Great way to encourage engagement, keep your customer relationships happy and healthy. Just a really nice integration.
Yeah, there's a couple things I think on this. One, obviously, this is a total delight move, right? For current customers that you want to do something and you want to be able to track it and automate it and all that good stuff. But also there's this other subsection of people that usually as marketers we give up on, and that is that they unsubscribe from all of our emails. Just because they unsubscribe from our emails doesn't mean that they're still not visiting our site. And so you may do something like, hey, people who have unsubscribed to our emails but have visited the website in the last 30 days and have a list, and then actually be able to bring them in by tying into Ribbon and some type of gift and something like that. So I love these connects because they give us some out-of-the-box opportunities. I think we have one more, which I think is super cool. So let's let people know just a little snippet about this update.
I'll give you a little snippet about snippets here. So now live is snippets in Gmail and Outlook. So with the snippets tool, you can quickly add commonly used phrases or paragraphs wherever you work. So previously, you could really only use the snippets tool within the CRM. So if you're writing emails in the CRM, you could use these snippets. Now you can use it in Gmail and most versions of Outlook. So we want to know, are you using the snippets tool? If you don't know about the snippets tool, George, why don't you tell them a little bit about some of the cool stuff you can do with snippets?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, we're doing What the Hack this week, which actually it's just a tip and trick / tutorial where we dive into the HubSpot CRM. I dive into the snippets tool and I show you on your screen when you hit play how to use the snippets tool in deals, in emails, in chats. And the real reason that you might want to watch this video tutorial is that I show you some bumps, some speed bumps, some detour signs along the way, things that you can really watch out for, because just because it says that it works, well, you know. Anyway, so this week, go and watch how to use the HubSpot Snippets tool. By the way, what tips, tricks, and hacks would you like to see? I'm in the mode of creation, people. Like, I'm ready to rock out some custom tutorials and hacks for you. Just hit us up. I'm at GB. No, I'm not. Not on Twitter. I'm at George B. Thomas on the Twitters. And Karina?
At CG Duffy Designs.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Karina, we like to communicate with people, don't we? We like people.
We love people.
Yeah. So because we like to communicate with people, that's one. Things are moving fast in our space. Would you not agree that things are moving fast in our space, Karina?
Very fast.
Very fast. And so we're always looking for other ways that we can communicate via just this video or the audio podcast that you listen to. Karina, why don't you tell them about something new that we're actually going to start doing here shortly as soon as, well, I'll give it away. So I'll just let you take it over.
Well, once a month, you can now get exclusive HubSpot listener content right in your inbox. So we're going to be starting a monthly newsletter just for you. We are dedicated to pushing our HubSpot and inbound educations and conversations to the next level. If you couldn't tell by how much we geek out here. If you're interested, just head over to the main Hubcast page, sign up today, stay in the loop.
You got to stay in the loop, people. You got to stay in the loop. Look, if you're not growing, you're decaying. That sounded bad, but just get the newsletter. Sign up. We'll send you some cool stuff. You know it's going to be fun. It's from Karina and myself. And you know what else is fun is this week's tweet of the week. And that's right. We're going to boil this down to one tweet every week. And so this week we've picked Element 3. Yes, you have made it into the show. And their tweet is, storytelling has always been part of what makes us human. It also happens to be part of what makes your brand interesting. Don't neglect your brand story. And there's a link. And you know what caught my attention was the Geico lizard and Groot, because that was an awesome image. They had to do that, put it together. It's super, super awesome. Go and definitely check out the little content that they have linked to that. But, you know, here's the thing, Karina, it is about storytelling. No matter what we're doing, whether it's blog articles or videos, podcasts, it's being able to wrap these things into a story that people understand and that they can run with and move with. You know what? I think there's something else that people were asked last week to run with that would make amazing stories on the Hubcast. Karina, what do people need to do?
So if you missed last week or you just had a busy week, we introduced the Hubcast HubSpot Hack Award. So what we want you guys to do is send us your HubSpot hack. So if you have something that you do in HubSpot, no matter what tool it is, wherever it is, that you think you're probably the only one that's figured this out or figured out some hack in there, we want to know, and we want to give you a special place in Hubcast history. So what you're going to get, if you win, a special Hubcast appearance and an exclusive HubSpot Hack Award that you can put on your website, your LinkedIn profile. We're going to hook you up. So what we want you to do is email us your hack. Send us a video or screenshots, an explanation of what it is. Send it to gthomas@impactbmd.com before the end of February. And then we'll be announcing the winners after that. So something you're not going to want to miss. And I'm just excited to hear from people because we get some of these things, all the time from all the different impactors. We're always trying to hack HubSpot and figure out how to do things faster, better, different. So we really do want to hear from you. What HubSpot hacks do you have?
Yeah, collective brainstorming, people. We got to work together to become the best. That's really what this podcast is all about. Well, folks, you just witnessed, you know what, actually, I'm not even ready to do that yet. Karina, we're getting pretty good at this. Like this is getting good. I really want people to let us know what they think of the new format. You can hit us up on Twitter. You can email us. What do you think of the new format? What do you think of the new co-host, who is much better looking than I am, much better looking than Marcus is? So that's a bonus. You know, that's the only way we could go on videos. We're like, man, we got to add some good looking talent. I'm just saying. But let us know, because this show is about you. What do you think of the new sections that we have? We're just trying to make this better as we go. We want it to be the best HubSpot video and audio podcast for you folks. Until next time, if you're listening to the Hubcast on your favorite podcast app, make sure you go over to iTunes, leave us a rating and review. If you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for instant notifications. You'll also get tutorials and interviews, things that are coming along the line. There is a link to our YouTube channel in the show notes. If you don't know what that is and you're listening right now, if you're watching, just go down a little bit. You'll see it because you're probably on the impactbnd.com website. But this has been an episode where we talked about keyword tools dying, which makes me super sad. I just don't get it. We've also talked about growth-driven design and things that you should be doing with your website, as well as the fact that you need to turn in your hacks. Until next time, this is George B. Thomas and
Karina Duffy
saying happy HubSpotting.